Hello and welcome back to Dr. Dekker. So it's been a few days since I played this, and while I'm uploading it, absolutely nobody is watching it. This is probably my least viewed series ever, like as I go along. But I'm really enjoying it, so I'm going to keep going. And hopefully, someday people in the future will come across it and enjoy watching it, so...
Midnight each day.
On Valentine's night,
Time as you know it freezes.
20 minutes past 10.
Keep up, Doctor.
Thinks we're going to smother her in her sleep.
I'm a grave digger, Doctor.
I was at home,
David is my husband.
all on my lonesome.
Stabbed him with a steak knife.
Nothing changes.
I'm a qualified angel of death.
When I'm dancing,
You get this day over and over.
Hilda,
I black out,
I don't think she's got long.
And Laurie just,
naked on the beach.
Hannah.
Is that it for today?
David hunts,
I can change my skin.
then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients.
I had a hot date
We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did
on
phone
Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number.
There was a girl there.
Am I wrong to keep the locket?
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't
He
I?
was preoccupied with finding
Photographs.
patterns.
Rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden.
I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it.
Okay, I kind of needed that refresher there. Is this the guy that had the video? No. Who are you?
Professor Warwick, I'm a physicist. Where's Dr. Dekker?
Nobody told you?
Is he really? Actually dead? Not a worthy adversary after all, then?
What? How is that a way to react to somebody's death?
Dr. Dekker challenged me. He tried to use my theories against me. Quantum theories.
Damn it! There he is.
Do you really want to know? Dekker's eyes used to glaze over whenever we talked
Oh,
about
it's an A,
that.
isn't it?
He didn't believe in
You,
quantum
okay.
physics. As if it's something that you can optionally believe in. Well, it started with an experiment.
Okay. That was an unnatural time to stop talking. Wait, I found the key points? Oh, maybe... this is one we don't need to talk to. Does this even exist? Is this one of those people?
I don't...
Ah, shit.
Have you heard?
I rely on spell check too much.
Quantum suicide, Doctor?
I have heard of it. I don't know where.
Perhaps ask me something physics related.
What? That's kind of funny.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Am I spelling it wrong again?
Are you sure?
Oh my Christ. You're making me feel dumb, Professor. That is how you spell it. That looks totally right.
Have you heard of quantum suicide, Doctor?
Ah, shit.
Have you heard?
That's what I tried.
Nope. I think you're gonna have to Google that.
I probably will. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so I read up on quantum suicide, and I don't see how it relates to this at all. But it's basically about Schrodinger's cat and, like, if instead of it the cat being in the box, you're in the box, and then you're running the experiment, and then you have a 50% chance of dying, and then so you run the experiment, you only get to continue doing the experiment if you lived, obviously, and yet you can keep on doing it, and it's kind of like it can solve the problem of if there's like a many worlds or theory type thing going on, or if there's something else, because there's many worlds you can keep doing it forever. So because there'll be some world where you survive. So I don't know, that seems kind of weird, but whatever. I don't it seems to have absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about, so let's try that.
Do you know, you remind me of Dr. Dekker.
All right.
Have you heard of quantum suicide, Doctor?
Oh, he wants a yes or no. That's why they wanted to let me ask it. Okay. Should I say yes? Because I would like him to explain what he means. No, what's this?
Maybe if you asked me that in a parallel...
Oh my Christ, what?
Well, then I'll be brief. According to the laws of quantum suicide, if I were to shoot myself now, then one branch of my timeline would result in my death, whilst the other in my continued existence. I simply applied that logic to something different.
As in Dekker's alive?
Nope.
That would be a spoiler if I Googled that.
No, I...
Yeah, you can pause to see if you want to read it. I'm reading it, but I'll also pause the recording so I don't keep it on here forever. What? This said Claire's husband is dead. She killed him. What the I thought we were she said he was survived it. Wouldn't we know this if she was a murderer? Oh, yes, good. Huh, okay. I don't think that means anything. It's just kind of weird that the time of death overlaps when he was discovered. I guess he was killed really recently. Oh my god. Don't do that. Jesus Christ, that actually scared me. What the hell?
Do you know, you remind me of...
Oh my Christ.
I don't... I was at a fundraiser for a charity called Mind Stretch Outreach. Don't know how I got roped into that, I can't remember. But it was full of very clever children with bizarre outlooks on life.
I bet.
And Jaya. It was Jaya who asked me to go.
Okay.
Oh, she's Dr. Dekker's lovely assistant. I imagine she's your lovely assistant now. Yeah, she always smiles and makes me a cup of tea before a session. Smile. Which reminds me, my session. Can we talk about my problem now?
Nope. I'm here to grill you about Dekker.
He's full of poor kids with very capable minds. I did give them a talk on quantum tunneling once, and they loved it. Not sure it'll put dinner on the table for any of them, though.
Oh my god, this game tests your spelling.
Oh, you go down.
Damn you!
Oh, you're gonna have to Google that, Doctor, I'm afraid. I'm not a walking Wikipedia. I'd love to tell you, but I am paying you by the hour. Maybe look up Schrodinger's cat whilst you're there.
Yeah, I know Schrodinger's cat, thanks. I just don't know how to spell it. That's why I copied it earlier. Maybe they didn't like the umlaut thing. Oh boy.
Perhaps ask me.
Yeah, that would be physics related. Alright, can I contradict myself? No. So you can't see both.
Well, then I'll be brief. According to the laws of quantum suicide, if I were to shoot myself now, then one branch of my timeline would result in my death, whilst the other in my continued existence.
That's Schrodinger's cat!
I simply applied that logic to something.
That is literally just Schrodinger's cat. Like, why not even just mention Schrodinger's cat? It has nothing to do with... You don't need the suicide example.
Maybe if you asked me that in a parallel universe, I actually know the answer.
Jesus Christ. He is hard to get stuff out of. I don't know what they want.
Oh, she's Dr. Dekker's lovely assistant. I imagine she's your lovely assistant now. Yeah, she always smiles and makes me a... I don't... Do you know, you remind me...
I don't know what you want. Oh shit, I forgot about that. My bad. I completely forgot about it.
I'm not a gambler, Doctor. I'm a scientist. I need more money. It's true I've run out of money for my research. An opportunity has arisen. A very wealthy group of individuals have offered to pay me a very large sum of money if I attend their next private soiree. They don't want a talk or anything like that. They want a practical demonstration. They'll pay me £1 million if I can successfully survive 6 rounds of Russian roulette. Now, I am worried because of what Dr. Dekker said, but, well, I can't help but thinking that the stakes are so high I can't possibly lose. What do you think, Doctor? Should I take them up on their offer?
What are the odds on that? I think that would be 5-6 times to the 6th power. Oh, your odds of survival, I believe. Let me do that. So if I figured it out right, the odds of surviving that are like 33.5%.
Perhaps ask... Nope. They'll pay me £1 million if I can successfully survive 6 rounds of Russian roulette. Now, I am worried because of what Dr. Dekker said, but, well, I can't help but thinking that the stakes are so high I can't possibly lose.
Alright, so what did Dekker say?
What do you think, Doctor? Should I take them up on their offer? I don't really...
Oh my god!
No. No, I suppose you're right. In a darker timeline, you probably said yes, and I'm dead now. I earn good money where I work. How do I stop losing it?
Why are you losing it?
Maybe if you...
Oh my Christ.
No,
For some reason he's like so picky on his keywords. I don't get it. He said he doesn't gamble.
Why not gambling? My wife Vanessa left me for a neurosurgeon. She emptied our entire combined wealth into her barrister's wallet. I needed more money. Physics provided me with a solution. We were married for 14 years, 7 months, and 3 days. Vanessa couldn't have children. At least that's what she told me. She grounded me in reality. I'm not complaining. It's probably what I needed. Part of me always thought one day I'd achieve immortality through science. It wasn't to be, though. Are you sure that...
Yes, I'm sure.
We were married for 14 years, 7 months, and 3 days. Vanessa couldn't have children. Well, yes, it bothered me. Especially now that I find out that she's pregnant. Oh, no, it wasn't a rocket scientist that was required, but a brain surgeon, it seems. I have considered putting that neurosurgeon onto his darkest timeline. But I'm not a killer. It would seem.
This guy's creepy.
Well, the Ministry of Defense, of course. Guns aren't going to win the next war. Quantum physics is. I'm not a gambler, Doctor. I'm a scientist. I need more money. It's true I've run out of money for my research. An opportunity has arisen. Gambling. I set up an experiment whereby I would visit a casino and place a very large bet at the roulette table.
Oh, this is that.
I would always bet on odd. Now, the results of this particular experiment were mundane. I won as many times as you would expect according to the laws of probability. But then, I changed a parameter.
That makes sense. Actually, you think about the quantum suicide thing, where they're talking about you keep doing something that has a 50% chance over and over and over. So...
Gambling. I set up an experiment whereby I would visit a casino and place a very large bet at the roulette table. Now, I would always bet on odd. Now, the results of this particular experiment were mundane. I won as many times as you would expect according to the laws of probability. But then, I changed a parameter. quantum suicide required a loss of life to make it a realistic thought experiment. So I simply upped the stakes. Every time I bet on odd, I would place everything I had on that one spin of the wheel, and it worked. For a while.
What? So, like, he's gonna kill himself? If he doesn't hit it? Oh my god. This guy's nuts.
I perhaps ask me. Dr. Dekker killed it, and I can't get it back. Well, my theory, quantum gambling. If the stakes are high enough, you will win every time by simply shifting your consciousness into that branch that wins. It's tricky, but can be done.
You nuts.
But Dr. Dekker didn't like that. He saw me becoming rich and powerful, and he hated that. That's why he proffered the hangman's paradox. Well, imagine a judge sentences you to death. Now, it will be Monday or Tuesday next week, but it will be a surprise. Well, which day do you think you'll be executed? Maybe if you asked me that...
That's what the Schrödinger cat answer is. Both of them happen. How's it a paradox anyways? It's just unknown knowledge. Unless he's not explaining it well.
No.
Damn it. I bet you he's going to say that. He's going to say I'm wrong when I say one of them. Try to sing a different day.
No, well, it can't be Tuesday, because if you're still alive on Monday at midnight, then you know you'll be executed on Tuesday, so it won't be a surprise. Conversely, it can't be Monday either, because, well, you'll be expecting it to be Monday by deduction. Hence, a paradox. Dr. Dekker tricked me. He told me that sometime in the future I would lose a bet, that I would lose all of my money. Now, this didn't seem likely because I had quantum gambling on my side and it was working. But he unnerved me. He made me doubt myself. And then it happened. Recently, I lost everything that I'd managed to build up since Vanessa left me. Well, my theory, quantum... Honestly? Well, I think he feared quantum physics. He didn't like things being explained in terms of science. Almost as if he'd have preferred chaos.
For sure. Okay, so you can't ask about chaos. I said that. What?
I take your point. But I suppose to decide whether to continue gambling or to stop gambling is a gamble within itself, isn't it? Well, my time is up. Will we be having another session or... No, don't answer that. It'll turn you into a gambler like me. Infectious, isn't it?
Okay. That was weird.
I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside.
Should I save the is David dead to the end?
I'm afraid I don't know the answer. Try asking.
What?
I didn't speak to her this time. Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands. I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
Man, there's something about her, like the way she speaks. Like, especially as like she talk about the girl. It feels like is it all in her head? I don't know. Like she's so exaggerated in like every little syllable.
I didn't speak to her this time. I don't know any. I didn't speak to her this time. Something about her made me feel uneasy.
Easy.
I just watched her from the bedroom window.
Better.
She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands. Sorry. Oh, I found the key. It must have been there all along, in a drawer in the hallway. I could have sworn I'd looked there already. That's not relevant. Oh, I found the key. It must have been there all along, in a drawer in the hallway. I could have sworn. You don't have to analyze everything I say, Doctor. Sometimes a hallway is just a hallway. And yes, before you ask, the same goes for the drawer. I don't know what you're after, but I don't know anything about that. I'm getting tired of all these questions. I'm getting tired of everything. I don't know, Doctor. I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers, which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me.
What? Oh, where to go for your... I mean, obviously I could do the last one, but...
You tell me. You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
I don't know.
Think, Doctor, think. Use your brain. I don't know, Doctor. That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive.
You crazy girl.
Try asking me something. At the lake house. He doesn't move from there. For good reason. I'm sorry, Your Honor. What I meant to say is that David never leaves the vicinity of the lake house. I think his hunting would be severely restricted by trying to do it from the kitchen window. At the lake house. I don't know what you're after. I'm getting tired.
Oh my god.
I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers. David shouldn't be alive, so he can't just stroll around the neighborhood. It's unseemly. I did think he'd be able to rejoin society at some point, but not anymore. He's getting worse, not better. Sorry. Think, Doctor.
Ah!
I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions.
Oh yeah, that.
Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder. To lessen my sentence. Because I'm not a killer. But I can't prove otherwise. You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor? That's not relevant here.
Oh, come on. They always make me do these yes or no questions to things I can't know. Like, it's ridiculous. It's honestly, like, unethical to answer these.
I'm afraid I don't know. That's not relevant.
I think it is.
I'm afraid I don't know.
What?
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So, I fixed it. It was about a week later. I brought David back to life.
Oh.
Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible, but only if you're not buried. He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then, you have a chance at resurrection. Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it. I think reanimation is more an accurate term. Like, I'm an evil necromancer raising things from the dead. David was dazed and confused when I brought him back to life, as you'd expect. He was scared. He didn't want me to go near him at first, which is understandable, as I did kill him. But I didn't really succeed in bringing him back. He wasn't a big talker before, but even monosyllabic words were more than what he seemed able to give me. Sorry. Think, Doctor.
Oh my god.
A paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon. I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain. Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder? Do you know, Doctor?
Oh my god, why are you so creepy?
I don't know what you're after.
Oh, okay, you keep on that. I did.
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it?
Oh, that one you mean?
I can tell you're dying to ask me about it. Fire away.
Wait, no. You mean that one? I did that.
My neighbors seem far more interested in my business than they are their own. The lake house only has one house opposite, and it was on sale for some time. I suppose I should have bought it. It's a messy business, stabbing someone. You'd imagine that it would be like slicing into a pie with all the filling just slowly oozing out, but it's so much more dramatic, like popping a cork of a bottle of champagne. Blood sprayed everywhere. The steak knife was the closest, sharpest weapon I could lay my hands on. I didn't really have much time to think about it. I don't know, Doctor.
I don't know. I mean, this is so stupid. Like, do I think it? Yes. Would I ever tell her that? No. And I think it's irresponsible to say no when she stabbed him. She died. Ugh. I'll just say no. Whatever. Actually, I'm going to say yes.
At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him. I just stabbed him a bit. And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life. Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane?
I don't know. Damn it. This is ridiculous. Ugh.
He's buried at Henley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him. Try asking me some. Bryce was a pallbearer for David. He's also a grave digger, I believe. Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult, unless you pay the right people. I'm getting tired. Sorry.
To resurrect it.
That's not relevant.
Okay. Well, let's do this before I forget.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave. He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off.
Well, that's what he would say, isn't it?
Not yet. I did.
Try asking me. I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that. Let's have a few more sessions before you seal our fates. Or is it that you want something else? Like Dr. Dekker did? Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my eligibility. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once, he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl. Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor? Very well. In our next session.
Huh.
He told me he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house,
What?
just for me, and he asked me to reanimate her.
What?
It was Iris. I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem.
What the fuck?
So I agreed. I just played along. I was hoping it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real. But he was offering me what I wanted, a temporary insanity diagnosis. It didn't happen. Dr. Dekker called me from his house to cancel. He was furious. He said that Iris had escaped, and he blamed me for it. He said that I must have set her free after he told me about her. I knew it was all lies anyways. He was obviously titillating himself by reprimanding me. He knew I'd never want to speak to Iris again, so I couldn't prove it either way.
Who's Iris? I don't remember. Who the hell is Iris?
I think his brain was already decaying during the week that he was dead. Important bits. So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and trying to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's about it. He's your basic Neanderthal. So I have a problem.
Oh, these are probably previous days now.
Do you see David here? No, Doctor. That would be ridiculous.
Huh? That's what I was gonna ask, yeah.
I don't know, Doctor.
Because we had that empty coffin, supposedly.
Perhaps. Perhaps I missed his vital organs. Perhaps by some strange freak of nature, he only appeared there for a week and needed no food or water. Though there was an autopsy, so it's not likely. I think he was definitely dead.
I agree.
The steak knife was the closest, sharpest weapon I could lay my hands on. I didn't really have much time to think about it. I'm afraid I don't know the answer. Yes, he did come back to life, but he's not a zombie. He looks like he always did. Just his mind is encumbered. There's no way back. Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor? I think it was a mistake taking Dr. Dekker to see David. Dr. Dekker wanted to examine him, so they went into a different room. I wasn't worried. David wouldn't speak.
It's like a doll or something.
But Dr.
I would
Dekker
guess.
seemed very distant after that. He didn't say a word on the way back.
Is that why he decided to declare you insane? But I mean, come on. You wouldn't actually need to see like a doll to realize that she's crazy if she actually believes this.
Dekker asked if I could prove... Think, Doctor. I think it was a mistake taking Dr. Dekker to see David. I'm getting tired. I think it was a mistake taking Dr. Dekker to see David. Dr. Dekker wanted to examine him, so they went into a different room. I wasn't worried. David wouldn't speak. But Dr. Dekker seemed very distant after that. He didn't say a word on the way back. I don't know what you're after.
That's a good question, man.
I think... You're saying that my David would speak to Dr. Dekker, but not his beloved wife? I don't think so, Doctor. And even if that were true, what would he say? What would he tell him? I have a picture of him I took after he came back. I'll bring it in next session.
Oh, 11 seconds, jeez.
If David doesn't exist, then that means that I really did kill him. He really is buried, and I really should be going to prison for a very long time. That just doesn't seem right to me. It's more probable that I reanimated him under Dr. Dekker's guidance.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I don't know the answer.
Ah.
I didn't plan to kill my husband. It was a spur-of-the-moment thing. What is it with men and affairs? Is that why they have a shorter average lifespan? David was dazed and confused when I brought him back to life. As you'd expect. He was scared. He didn't want me to go near him at first, which is understandable, as I did kill him. But I didn't really succeed in bringing him back. He wasn't a big talker before, but even monosyllabic words were more than what he seemed able to give me. He made sounds. I could understand him a bit. I thought he'd improve with time, like a child learning to talk, but he didn't. It's only recently that I've come to that conclusion, that he's not going to get better. He's not going to be right again. I think it's his brain. At least he is safe where he is. A paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon. I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work.
Alright, see, this seems
through his eye,
really different.
or perhaps through the ear into his brain. Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder?
Such a good question, but it's like I don't know how they wanted me to word that.
Yes, the father and daughter who live opposite will have seen him, I'd imagine. Although they won't have talked to him. If anyone approaches him other than me, David would run a mile. The sociable part of his brain must have died in that week too. Since I brought him back, I felt that there was something different about him, something not quite right. I think it's his brain. But how ludicrous that you can bring someone back in the first place. It's like that book, Pet Cemetery. Funnily enough, he does smell of earth, but that's because he spends most of his time out hunting. I assure you, David is not a ghost. I've touched him. How astute, Doctor. Yes, I did say I hadn't seen Dr. Dekker outside of our sessions. That wasn't a lie. Our trip to the lake house was made during a session. He was stabbed in the heart. Then I'd say whoever killed him didn't want to leave any room for error.
She's still not green? My goodness, I'm just trying to finish her off. I thought it would be sooner in this. Okay, so it looks like I need to talk to other people and then come back. Okay. So I'm gonna have to remember to ask other people about Iris. Okay. Alright, well I'm gonna end this video here. Till next time.